In 2019, I had saved $30,000 from working at Dunkin' Donuts and money that I ended up borrowing from my family. And I lost everything in just a matter of 3 months trading forex. And even with that, I entered major depression. I messed up the relationship with my family, and I've actually never told this story before, so this is how it went. It all started when, in 2018, I was a simple Dunkin' Donuts worker where I was making $8.50 an hour, where I was earning anywhere from $1,500 every single month. And this is where I was putting in 8-hour days, 40-hour weeks, and I was still extremely unhappy. And I truly didn't want to know what I wanted to do with my life. And I remember extremely clear how one day at the beginning of 2019, I decided to turn my life around completely. And this is all because of one simple thing. I got a red light traffic ticket that completely changed my life forever. That ticket changed the way of me looking at money and time forever, because that ticket was $158. And precisely that week, I didn't work half of the week, where my paycheck was $158 at the end of the week. So literally the whole entire week that I put in to work at Dunkin' Donuts went straight to just pay off this red light ticket. And this ticket had me rethinking my whole entire life. And at that very moment, that completely changed my way of thinking, because what I was doing was wasting a week of my life of working just to pay off a red light ticket that I actually got rushing to get to work so I didn't get fired. I didn't find this fair at all. This is where I made a decision, and I decided to no longer value my time at $8.50 an hour, because clearly it's not enough to barely make ends meet. And this is where I decided to start figuring out how can I make the money work for me and not me work for the money. And this is accompanied by the action that I took to figure out how can I make money online. And I'm sure you guys have all been there. Like, we all see these multi-millionaire gurus and ads, and we all think they're a scam, personally, myself included. But what I did realize is that they're in a much better position than I was, so I'm like, you know what, why not give it a shot? So by that time, I had discovered 4 different choices. First one being trading stocks. I decided to try it out, but it only took me about 2 weeks to stop it, because I needed a minimum of $25,000 to start, and it was extremely complex. And I didn't want to put all of my life savings along with my family's money into something that the majority of the people say you're going to lose right off the bat. So it was very, very high risk, very complicated, and I saw little reward and potential in it. Then I realized that there was Amazon dropshipping, and this one caught my attention really quick because a buddy of mine, he had actually been doing it for 6 months ahead of me. So he was already been doing Amazon for 6 months, but I got very, very uninterested because he was doing it for 6 months and had no results. So I almost saw it as a waste of time if I would have attempted to do it with him. And next, I decided to venture into the world of Airbnb property management. And I actually ended up taking a couple of courses here because I was really looking up to Grant Cardone at the time, and he did an interview with Brian Page where he was doing short-term rental property arbitrage. And this really caught my attention. So I took the courses, I learned, I applied the strategies, but I had no results because the laws here in Miami for short-term rentals, they were very complex, and in order for you to get the licenses, it just took too much time, along with a lot of capital to back up the leases that you had to sign in order to get these properties. And it went much deeper than I ever expected it would be. And then that's where I found trading forex. And I decided to stay in this niche because the entry barrier was by far the lowest than any of the others that I had just mentioned. And the risk to reward was by far the largest. All you realistically need is a laptop, $100 to get started, and some Wi-Fi so you can mark up your charts. And the margins are 100%. So whatever you make on your trades, you keep 100% of it. Obviously, other than taxes, depending where you're living. There you pay your taxes on your own. But other than that, the margins are 100% on what you make on your trades. But what really caught my attention is that you can day trade within Forex, meaning you can make money 24/5. So there's opportunities to make money all day, all night. Unlike the stock market that's open from 9 to 5, the Forex market is open 24/5, so there's endless opportunity. So as I'm getting deeper and deeper into this niche, I realized that you can turn $100 into $1,000 extremely fast because you can use leverage to maximize your trading profits. And this led me to build a brand new mentality. I was no longer scared of the money. And I started to learn ways how to use it as a tool to make me more money. And I started to feel more and more confident that I could actually make a living trading Forex, regardless of what everybody said or people calling it a scam. Or even more, my family members not believing in me. And this is where I became more and more obsessed with trading Forex. I was studying 10-hour days, weekends and everything for a period of 5 to 6 months. This is where I called my dark mode. My only priority was to focus as much as I can about these financial markets, know everything about the business, all of the ins and all of the outs. And soon after I began to understand the actual flow of how the markets worked, I was envisioning myself driving through my new Lambo, down my neighborhood, showing my family members and telling all the people that didn't believe me, I told you so. Because since I put so much time into this, I started seeing the patterns again and again and again. So it was just a matter of time until I capitalized off of the next pattern. And all of this led me to getting my first result. At first, obviously, the results weren't the best. However, I was visualizing myself how I was going to able to make a living from trading forex. I started to turn into a new person, a much stronger person, a much smarter person. I started getting comfortable with being uncomfortable in the markets because there's no room for messing around when it comes to trading in these markets. And as time went by, I started to learn from my mistakes. And I would catch myself from doing something wrong, which would have cost me thousands of dollars, and having more and more acceptable results. I still wasn't earning much money, but I wasn't losing it as much as I was in the beginning. And little by little, I was understanding the arts of trading more and more. I was understanding how the market moved based off of trending markets. And more importantly, how crucial the psychology role factors into trading. And with good time, thanks to very strict discipline, I started to have more and more positive results. And I was already earning money. It wasn't much, but it was already profitable. I was already generating an extra $5,000 a month in just the first year. And here's where I reached a great epiphany. And it was when I really realized what allowed me to take the first leap, or as I call it, the aha moment. This is when I realized that the only thing that I had to do was to put 100% of my focus on only taking the best quality trade setups and not focus on trying to get on every single trade. Focus on quality over quantity. And by thinking and acting this way, things in my trading has started to change forever. And this led me to think that everything from this moment on, everything was going to be golden and perfect. And that's what I answered what I thought was my golden era. And at this very moment, my life had changed completely. Money stopped being a problem and I started buying new things for myself like I think everybody would. I had bought my first Rolex for $7,000. I bought a brand new Mercedes S550 because I wanted to feel like a big boss, driving around in Miami in my Benz with my brand new Rolex. And here I started to relax and enjoy life because I had never really been able to buy nice things and have certain liberties that at that time in my life, I was able to have. And even though I started to experience all of this sudden success or this luxury lifestyle, it all came with a very big lesson. Hidden within inside of it. By then I had managed to achieve $80,000 in 60 days and I lost everything in trading. There was something that I was ignoring and it took a toll on me. That's risk management. And at that moment in my life, I wasn't humble enough to realize that I was making this mistake. And by not changing this behavior, the worst happened. I had lost the last $30,000 that I had in the bank account in a matter of 60 days. This is something that I could not believe that happened, and I went into complete denial. And I didn't accept the reality, and in turn, this came with great frustration and great depression. I remember how I tried to get out of the hole without success by trying to flip small accounts fast and trying to make my money back. And what I didn't really allow myself to understand was that this great denial was causing me great suffering and much pain. That's when I decided to turn around everything that was happening. I decided to get into dark mode and begin to analyze in a cold and calculated way what was sinking me and not allowing me to move forward. Little by little, I began to detect the patterns that led me to this situation. I soon realized that only 3 specific actions were responsible for causing the $30,000 that I lost in 60 days. Once I identified this error, I took it upon myself to eliminate it completely and forever. What I did was just focus on the best trade setups and not focus on taking all the trades the market has to offer. After, when the good trade presents itself, use risk management. It is a mandatory rule of mine from that moment on and for the rest of my life. Because not every trade is guaranteed to be a win. And most importantly, let the winning trades run and cut your losses short. Thanks to all this, I had reached a new level where I was no longer making mistakes. And all of this allowed me to live a real, true success. And And from this moment on, I acquired a new philosophy known as set and forget. And all of this came with it. New results on a money level, on a personal level, relationship, friendships. And as soon as I started to realize the same applied to all the areas of my life, that's when the new big results started to come in. I started to earn numbers like these, and even like these. I started to reach new levels and reach new records like my first million, in which I managed to achieve it in just under 1 year without having to go through any more of my losing streaks in my trading at all. Completely stopped. And what allowed me to get to where I am today was trading forex. My journey was very long and a very painful one, but I'm very convinced that it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. And that's exactly why I have a recorded video on how to successfully get into this business, so you do not make the same mistakes that I do and you get results just like me. You can watch it down below. Appreciate you guys watching the video all the way to the end. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.